hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have tons of Halloween Apothecary DIYs for you. I'm going to be doing a brand new Halloween Apothecary coffee bar. We're also going to be doing an Apothecary tier tray and an Apothecary cabinet, like an entire cabinet. So it's going to be kind of a Halloween Apothecary crafting marathon. So for the coffee bar, I'm going to start on the bottom row. I thought one of these Halloween little fences from the Dollar Tree, I guess they're like landscape edging, would be cute. My Dollar Tree only had one, which is what I need. I'm just going to go ahead and just cut the connectors off the sides just because I'm not going to need those. And I think the little yard stakes on there are going to be perfect because it's going to be able to stand it up and kind of decorate the wall behind the apothecary and kind of make it look creepy. It's already black with like silver distressing. I wanted to go over it with a little bit more black to make it a little bit creepier, a little less silver, but a little bit of that silver shining through, but mostly black. So that was really easy to do. It takes up like lots of space there on the coffee bar and gives me a great background to build an apothecary. Now for the shelves themselves, I'm going to cover them with the Dollar Tree Creepy Cloth. This is the gray. I always call it the black, but it is pretty cool. There's plenty here. There's enough for both of the shelves of my coffee bar that I have in my kitchen area. So I'm going to cut that in half. That's going to go on the shelves. For the first items we're going to decorate it with, we're going to use some of the little skeletons from the Dollar Tree. A little, I can't see. Oh, don't feed me the poison ones. I think those are going to be really cute. And then we can get started on our first apothecary like potion. I wanted to do tons of jars with fun things, so I went to my Dollar Tree tonight and I had some fun putting this together for you. So I'm just going to use one of the Dollar Tree mason jars, just the regular size one. And I kind of want it to look old. Since it is like clear glass, I thought I could give it that old aged look with just some matte Mod Podge. And I'm just using one of those little stencil daubers. I love those. And you can use any kind of sponge, just sponging it all over. That's going to give me like a cloudy glass, kind of make it look a little bit older. For the lid itself, I'm going to paint all of the lids for the coffee bar black, just so they will all kind of match. It doesn't have to be perfect. I like actually a little bit of the metal showing through, and I do both the ring and the top. Since this is a mason jar, it has both. And that will keep it consistent, having everything have the same color lid. Now to fill this one, I picked up some dried pinto beans from the Dollar Tree. And I thought I could make these look like something creepy, so I went ahead and poured these in. I designed my own printables for all of the potions on the coffee bar today, and I will include the link to these in the description of today's video. I'm going to have it where you can print them all out on 2 sheets. If you need any individually, just let me know, and I will share a link. So this one is going to be the Vampire Kidney Stone. Since they're beans, I thought it might kind of look a little bit like kidney stones, and I thought that would be kind of fun and creepy. I just put a little Mod Podge on the back of my label. I just printed them out on regular copy paper, so they'd be nice and thin, and I could do a really easy label. And you really want to do it on paper, not cardstock, because you want it to lay as flat against the glass as you can. And I'm not Mod Podging the top or anything. I want that rough paper label look. It's going to kind of add to the aged apothecary look. And so this is how the first one turned out. Now for the next one, I also picked these up at the Dollar Tree, olives. They had a couple different kinds of these. Most of these foods that are already jarred, I will be able to reuse these later. I'll just have to remember what's in everything, but I'm not going to kind of mess with those because I hate wasting food. And I am just going to peel the label off and use the jar it came in. Now, some of these were easier than others to get the labels off, but I just decided to soak mine in water. It seemed like the best method. I think that you can use vinegar for that as well. And the label I designed for this one says goblin eyes. I thought that the olives kind of look like eyeballs, so I thought this would be a really fun design to put on our jar. And, it saves you money because you got like all your filler, your liquid, your jar, all there for $1.25. And, afterwards you can have some olives to snack on. So I am just using a little scrubby scouring pad to try to get this one off. This one was really attached, and I even added some dish soap hoping that would help, but I don't know why. This was the worst one that I had today. But I did read that you could use nail polish remover to get that off as well. So that is what I did, and that worked so well. It got all that adhesive off. There was just a lot of glue on that label for some reason. But I like the fact that, like, whatever these are in, the liquid, it's kind of a reddish, and the olives kind of look brown. So I think they look nice and creepy, and I think that's going to work well for this one. Since I don't want to damage the food or anything, I just leave the lid sealed on there, but I don't think it'll bother anything to just paint the lid. So again, I want all my lids to be black because I have like every different color lid today for this coffee bar, and it's just going to make them look creepy, consistent. So that looks really good. And we can just go ahead and attach our goblin eyes. I had a lot of fun designing these labels today, and I will try to include printables for everything in today's video so that you can recreate. So some Mod Podge on the back, and we have some goblin eyes. I think this is going to look really cute on that first shelf of the coffee bar. Now for the next one, I picked up this little plastic jar at Dollar Tree today. It's like a plastic potion jar. It's already got the cork in there, so it works really well for $1.25. And then I picked up some of the Dollar Tree brown rice. I thought that would make the perfect maggots. So I designed a maggots label for this one. Really creepy, like eating like a corpse. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that one out, get that ready. I like the fact that the little plastic bottle is kind of a brownish orange. I wanted to kind of mix up some of the colors on our potion bottles today so they don't all look the same, right? And then I just put some Mod Podge on the back of our maggots label. We can go ahead and label this before we fill it up with our little maggots. Ever since I was a kid, I always thought rice looked like maggots. So it kind of made sense for me to make this one maggots. So that looks really good. That's a really nice size jar. They have these in several different colors, so you can kind of mix and match them up. I'm going to fill it up with some brown rice. You get a lot in a bag for $1.25 at Dollar Tree. Pop the cork back on, and we have our maggots for our apothecary. Now, the next one, I was kind of surprised to find this at Dollar Tree. Like asparagus spears, kind of in a jar like pickles, right? And so I thought these would make the perfect witch fingers because they're long and skinny and green like witch fingers, right? And so again, I just peeled the label off, soak that in water. While I'm doing that, I can go ahead and get my apothecary label ready. And this one's going to say witch fingers. It's got a creepy little skeleton witch hand on there. And I think that's going to work really well for this. Again, I'm leaving it in its existing jar so that we can always eat this food after Halloween is over. And I don't think I've ever done my coffee bar for Halloween. I think I always do it just for fall, so this is a really fun treat this year. It has a white lid, so I go ahead and paint that with black. As you can see, it also covers up like expiration dates and stuff like that, so kind of keep that in mind. But I really don't want any of that to be visible because I want it to look like a jar like that we put together, right? And I'm leaving it just clear glass because I want you to be able to see in there to see the witch fingers. And I just put some Mod Podge on the back of our label and put that one on there. Super cute little witch fingers. I think these make the perfect little witch fingers. Now the next one, I picked up a little glass jar from the Dollar Tree. This is one that kind of sits like a candy jar that you can kind of snack in. And so I am going to fill this one up with some sunflower seeds that I picked up at Dollar Tree. And afterwards, you can always use this for snacking. It's actually perfect for sunflower seeds. This one had a metal silver lid. So again, I am painting it with black. It's kind of hard on the sides of some of these lids to get in there with this little stencil dauber, but that's okay. As long as I have it mostly black, I'm going to be okay with it. Because again, I kind of want it to look distressed and old and creepy for Halloween. So that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and fill this up. I was surprised they had lots of different flavors of sunflower seeds at Dollar Tree. And I just got the original. And I am just going to pour that in there. And I thought these looked kind of like fingernails. And so I'm going to have it say zombie fingernails. I designed this label printable to be round. And again, I sized all of these on the sheets of paper, PDFs that I'm gonna share with you for this DIY. And everything is scaled to size. So if you use the exact items that I use from Dollar Tree, they should fit like this lid, where I sized it to fit on there. I had painted it black just so I could have it black around the edges. And then I went ahead and Mod Podged the zombie fingernails label on there. Super cute, right? And then you might want to do that afterwards, because then I realized I kind of had to screw it on and it had to go upright. But you know what? I got lucky and it fit perfectly. So there it is, zombie fingernails for the Coffee Bar Apothecary. This is another color of the plastic little potion bottles they have at the Dollar Tree that I got tonight. This one's kind of a black or gray tinted. And then I also picked up some of the Dollar Tree black stones. I thought that I could make them look a little bit creepy and kind of like hearts, right? And so I'm going to do cursed demon hearts, like black rock represents their heart. And so I designed that cursed demon heart apothecary label for you. And then I'm going to Mod Podge that on. I really liked these bottles. Even though they're plastic, they still look nice. You can't really tell they're plastic. And the fact that they're already tinted saves you a step, makes them look creepy, gives a little color to the apothecary. And even though I'm doing like a coffee bar, a tier tray, a cabinet today, you could put these anywhere in your house if you want to do an apothecary theme, which is one of my favorite themes for Halloween for sure. So now it's just a matter of pouring in our little black stones. And I just fill it till I'm happy with it most of the way. Pop the cork back on and we have another jar for our apothecary cursed demon heart. Now this one is one of the little plastic candy dishes they have from Dollar Tree right now. And then I picked up some coconut flakes. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get this paint off these. I know I've tried before and I think I had trouble, but I wanted to stress it anyway to make it look like old cloudy glass instead of plastic. So if I damage it with fingernail polish remover, so be it. So I started with fingernail polish remover. Sometimes this technique works for Dollar Tree items and sometimes it doesn't. This worked a tiny bit, but it really wasn't working. So then I went in there with a fine sanding block from the Dollar Tree, and that really helped get it going. So between sanding and the fingernail polish remover, I was able to get it off. As you can see, it's damaging the plastic, but I want it to look creepy and old like that, so I'm going to go for it. And so I just keep going back and forth with the sanding and the fingernail polish remover until all of that paint was gone, because my label wasn't quite big enough to cover the whole thing. And then I am going to distress the rest of the plastic jar with just some matte Mod Podge, just sponging all over. And you really can't tell where it was damaged and where it wasn't, because all of it looks like old aged glass. And this technique for aging glass worked really well. I was really impressed with it. I thought that it would just from getting Mod Podge on glass and plastic before. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the lid. And this is a really cool jar because it seals nicely too. And it's great that I was able to get the writing off there so I can put my own label on there. I thought the coconut flakes kind of look like ghoul dandruff. So I made a ghoul dandruff label for this apothecary jar. Kind of funny. And I'm going to fill this up with the coconut flakes. I was going up and down the aisles at Dollar Tree. The cashier was laughing at me. He was like, "What are you making tonight?" And I was like, "An apothecary for my YouTube channel." He got a kick out of everything that I was buying. So I put Mod Podge on the back of the paper and again, put it right on there. That looks kind of cloudy, just like I wanted. And now we can fill it up with coconut flakes. This is a really big jar and it seals. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put the entire bag in there. Why not? And it's a fun texture, a little bit different than the other things we've been using so far for our apothecary jars. And here it is, our ghoul dandruff. And it's a nice tall piece as well. Now, I wanted some little pieces as well. I found these apothecary jars at Dollar Tree today. You get 4 in a package for $1.25. As you can see, they're really tiny. And they only had 1 at my store, but that's okay. I think 1 is going to be enough. I can make these 4 and scatter them around my coffee bar. Now, some of them are like wool of bat, where I'll have to figure out something to put in them. Some of them can just be liquid. Like this one's witch's brew. It's tinted. So I just put clear water in there and that looks fine. You don't have to dye it or anything. And this one says poison. So I'm just going to put clear water in this one too. Easy peasy, pop the corks back on. Now, the other 2, I had to get a little bit more creative. So one of them was like shaved spider hair. So I'm actually using some black wire that I got from the hardware section at Dollar Tree. You could use black string, black, anything. You just can get creative what it would look like to have spider hair. And I just cut that wire, filling the jar up with little tiny pieces. It really gave it kind of a hair-like texture. And I think that's going to work well. And it was super easy to do. So trying to go with what the jars say already to kind of match it. Now this one was wool of bat. I'm going to put a little bit of brown floral moss in the bottom of these for the wool of bat. And I actually had some black fuzzy Dollar Tree fabric that I used for a previous DIY here for Halloween. And I'm just going to cut it into little tiny pieces to make it look like bat fur or wool. And you do have to kind of get something to kind of push the things down in there because these little potion bottles are very small. But that worked well. So I have 4 of them that I can scatter all over the coffee bar. Easy peasy. Now, I think these are new this year. I've never seen these at Dollar Tree. They are the glass laboratory flasks. You get 2 in a package for $1.25. And I picked up 3 packages, so we're going to do a total of 6 of these for the coffee bar. And these are kind of like a medium size. So I can scatter these all over. They're really nice glass with a cork on each one. So I'm going to try to get creative on these as well and see what we can do for some fun potions. For the first one, I got some gummy worms at the Dollar Tree, which I actually had fun snacking on these while I was creating today's video. And I picked out a yellow and green one. Now for the first one, I cut it in half because I didn't think a whole worm would fit in there. But you know what? I was wrong. Because at first, see how tight that fit is? It's just a matter of kind of putting them in there the right way. I went ahead and put my gummy worm down in there, and then I'm going to fill it up with water. I don't really know what it will do in water, but hopefully it'll start looking really creepy, maybe expand or something like that. That would be really cool. Then I realized, I could probably fit the whole worm in there. So I cut the worm up and put it in there just like that. Just making sure it's submerged underwater, yellow and green, nice and creepy. I was trying to think of what I could use that was really small to go in these because the opening's not very big. I also wanted to use a grow animal. I found this grow animal at the toy aisle tonight of like a pterodactyl. It doesn't really matter what it is because I'm going to be cutting off body parts and putting them in there. And these, I guess, will probably take a day or 2 to grow to look super creepy. But I just cut off a foot and put some water in this one. I thought that would be creepy and cool. It could be any kind of foot, like a dragon foot or something like that. And then I was trying to think what else I could cut off his tail. Because they are going to grow a lot. So I want little tiny pieces to put in there. So I do a tail in this one. Again, filling it up with water. Not too much so that I can put the cork on it. And then I was thinking, I have a different color of gummy worm. I have the red and yellow. And this is when I discovered the whole worm would fit in there easily. So I would suggest doing it that way if you're going to be making some flasks with worms. So I filled that up with water as well. And it actually looks better than my other one. So you know what? I'm going to dump that out and redo this one. I was surprised that it all came out easily, maybe because it was so wet. But I put a green and yellow gummy worm in that one with water. So they're different colors, so that adds a little variety and some color to it. And then I have like the tail and the foot of this pterodactyl. I decided to put the other foot in there as well. I might as well. And then I also picked up some, it's like a soybean and virgin olive oil maybe from the Dollar Tree. I didn't know they had those actually. And I am going to fill up the other ones with oil. I thought that oil would be creepy. And I didn't want to use any of my good oil, so I wanted to use some Dollar Tree oil. So I'm going to fill that up. I like the yellow color. It's got a cool consistency being the oil. And I'm going to do both of these exactly the same. So we have 6 little mini flasks. I'm not going to label them or anything. They're not really big enough for that. And let me give you a sneak peek of how the bottom shelf of my coffee bar turned out with all of the DIYs that we've made so far in today's video. Isn't it looking creepy and cool so far? I still have an entire other shelf on my coffee bar to do, and we're going to continue that apothecary theme. Hey guys, are you enjoying today's video so far? If you are, be sure to hit that like button. It always helps my videos do better here on YouTube. Okay, on to the second tier. I always like to do a sign for my wall, and I found a welcome potion sign from Dollar Tree, but it's made out of this thin, warpy wood that I don't like from Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is I picked up another long board sign, and I'm going to put the two together to make it just a sturdier sign. They're about the same height, so I think that will work. And then just to tone down the glitter, I'm not a huge glitter fan here. On this one, I'm just putting matte Mod Podge all over just to tone it down a little bit. You can still tell there's glitter on there, but I liked the welcome potions. I thought that looked kind of cool. And I thought this would be great to fill the space at the very top of my coffee bar on the wall. So I just flip over my long board sign. It can be any board sign because you're not going to be able to see it. And I take it to my saw and cut it down to size. Now I can sandwich them together. I'm going to go ahead and leave the hanger on there. Might as well. And just use some hot glue to secure them together. This really worked. It made it not warped. Way thicker, and it just looks better. I'm not going to frame it out or anything. It's kind of the perfect size I need for the top of my apothecary coffee bar, so I think this is going to work just like this. And it really did make a difference. I wish that they were really that thick. Now the next item is actually from Target Dollar Spot. It was $3, and they're test tube drink holders. It's a really nice rack with all the test tubes in there, and I thought this would be really fun to add to my apothecary, so I picked this up at Target Dollar Spot just the other day when I was visiting my son down in college. So I'm going to go ahead and try to find some cool things to put in here. They're not very big, so everything's going to have to be fairly little. For the first item, I decided to use some vase filler. So these are those like little sparkly white rocks that you can use in vases, but I thought it would look cool. Kind of like maybe a scale or a jewel or something like that. I'm not going to label them or anything. I just want small items to put in them of different colors, textures. Now this is like the salts that you can use like for bathing. I thought this would be fun because it's a nice small piece, kind of looks like crystals, right? And I kind of liked the yellowish orange color. I thought that would be really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this little test tube up with these. I want them to be kind of scattered. Like some of them have liquids in them. Some of them to have like hard items like that, pebbles. I picked up these at Dollar Tree, the Boston Baked Beans. They're candy coated peanuts, but I thought they looked kind of creepy. And a nice brownish color. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those up. Some were a little too big, but most of them were able to fit in there. I just skipped the large ones and filled up my test tube with those. They look kind of creepy. I like it. I also picked up Dollar Tree corn nuts because I thought they looked a little creepy, like something that should be in a potion jar or test tube. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up too. They barely fit in there, but you know what? They were just the right size. You just kind of have to put them in there one by one, and that worked out perfectly. So I think that's enough for like solid items. Well, maybe I'll do one more. This is just the Dollar Tree lentils. I picked up some of those. You'll see here for another apothecary jar. So I decided to do one more, and I filled that one up with those. That looked pretty cool. Now for the other ones, I'm going to do water. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill them up with water first. And then I can just use some Dollar Tree food coloring that I've had in my craft stash for quite a while. And I am going to dye those different colors. So I go ahead and fill them up with water first. And then I'm going to like kind of go back and forth with different colors on these because I don't want them to be like bright, bold colors like the food coloring comes. So I'm going to be mixing like a lot of colors today until I'm super happy with it. But again, I just wanted the liquid ones kind of scattered. I'm going to have this on the back of my top shelf of my coffee bar. And I'm going to lift it up with some like little wood blocks to make sure that you can see it because otherwise it might get hidden back there. And I think it's pretty cool. So I want you to be able to see it. So this was me going back and forth with colors. I kind of dumped out my excess water in them and added more color if I wanted to change it up. But I kind of wanted some dark colors, some interesting colors like orange and stuff like that. So mixing red and yellow together, just remember your color wheel, what you're going to get when you add those colors together. And I kind of keep working with them until I'm happy with them. This is me being a perfectionist and being like, it doesn't look quite right yet. I need to add a little bit more color to this one or this one, and then it's going to be just perfect. So I finally finished messing with those, and this is how my test tube rack turned out. I think it looks fun for an apothecary coffee bar. Now for the next jar, I picked up some relish from the Dollar Tree because I thought this looked kind of creepy. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and peel the label off this, get it started. I found that helped. And then again, soak that in water. Now, I was trying to think of a fun label for this one. I came up with pulverized frog spawn. I thought that sounded creepy, and that's kind of what pickle relish looks like. So this is the label I designed for this one. And again, we're going to leave it in the jar. It's just a matter of getting this old label off and adding our new label. So some of them came off like that one. A lot of them come off really easily and some of them just really don't. I don't know why. And so it had a white lid. So again, I'm going to be making all the lids up here black like we did down below. So I used that sponger and black acrylic to paint that. And then time for the label, our pulverized frog spawn. My son's going to think this is funny. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this on the front. Really cool. When you're watching this, I'm actually going to be with my son. I'm going to go down and spend a couple of days with him here. We have to get passports for a big trip that's coming up this Christmas. So I'm super excited about that. And our passports are expired. So for the next one, I picked up some lentils from Dollar Tree and just a plastic jar. This is the one from the craft section just because I wanted all different shapes and sizes of jars. It's plastic, but that's fine. And again, it has a silver lid. So I'm just going to go in first, paint that with some black acrylic until I'm happy with it. And I thought the lentils looked kind of creepy and a little bit like warts. So we're going to call this one Witch's Warts. It's got a nice creepy image on there of some witch's warts. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that label down for our jar. Making the labels was half the work for this. So since I'm sharing these free printables with you, it should be a lot easier for you guys to put these DIYs together. Put some Mod Podge on the back and slap our label on this plastic jar and we can fill it up with the lentils. Now, I did notice that the plastic looked a little too perfect, so I'm going to distress it with the Mod Podge all over just to make it look cloudy and creepy. I didn't do that really with any of the food that I might use, just because I really wanted you to be able to see the food in there. But this one was just a little too clear and perfect looking, so I wanted to rough it up a little bit. So I open up my lentils and pour those in there. And I don't know if I've ever eaten lentils. I have to admit, I don't think I have. I'll have to eat the rest of them and see if they're any good. And so this is what it looks like, our witch's warts for our apothecary. Now, I didn't want to just have potions, so I decided to do a candle just to make it look creepy too. and give a little height to the top shelf. So I picked up a black long candle from the Dollar Tree, removed the label. You know, the fingernail polish remover worked great for getting that adhesive off. And then I'm just going to use a white paint pen. This is a Posca. I love the Poscas. I have these linked in my Amazon shop. They work on everything. They're so great. And I just make an X on there and then go all the way around with a straight line and go up and down. And what I want to do is make this look like a spider web. So really easy to do. I just do little curved lines connecting our two sides, right? Once I get those done, I can go ahead and fill it in all the way around. Just by doing a curved shape, connect the lines. Definitely doesn't have to be perfect, just making it, trying to look like a spider web candle, just to make it creepy and fun for Halloween. So almost done working on my last row here. And that was really easy to do. Definitely easier than getting my Cricut out and vinyl and all that kind of stuff. Now, these are the only spiders that I could find at my Dollar Tree tonight. They have the jewels on them. They're the rings. I don't know why I can't find the regular ones that are rings, but I will just have to make this work. So I just cut the ring off, and then I was trying to decide where I wanted my spider to be. I decided to make him go right about here on the web. I just attach him with some hot glue, and I didn't want him to be super colorful, so I used some black acrylic just to paint his greenstone black to kind of get the look that I was going for on that so it doesn't stand out too much. The next food item that I found at the Dollar Tree was sauerkraut. I thought this looked nice and creepy, right? And I could do something fun with it. Definitely a different color and texture than other things I've used, so we can make something unique with that. I decided that it looked like fermented ogre intestines. So that is the label that I made for this one. So while that's soaking, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. I really had so much fun putting this apothecary together for you. I really hope you enjoy all these DIYs. And again, this is an apothecary crafting marathon. So we're also going to be having my apothecary tier tray that I did last year on my channel. And we're also going to be having the entire apothecary cabinet that I did 2 years ago on my channel. So hopefully you'll get lots of apothecary crafting ideas with all of these videos. And again, it has a different jar lid. I'm not going to damage the food at all. I just paint it black with acrylic paint, then Mod Podge my label straight on. I think Mod Podging for the labels, I mean, it's definitely cheaper just to use regular paper than stickers, but I love the look of just the matte paper. I think it looks really good for an apothecary label. It makes it look old, and that's what I was kind of going for. For the next DIY, I picked up just a potion sign, a blank sign from the Dollar Tree, and some of their Halloween leather. It's kind of a black and white creepy print that I thought would look really good to cover the front of this. You could always use like Halloween scrapbook paper or even like a Halloween napkin on this. That would look really cute as well if you can't find the leather. I just draw on the back of the faux leather to sketch it out so I can cut it down to size before I even attach it. This is going to be super easy, and I'm going to use this kind of behind some of my other potions that I'm making because they're going to be spectacular. This can kind of be like a little bit of a background sign there on the top of my coffee bar. So I put quite a bit of Mod Podge on there because I thought the leather was kind of heavy. I wanted to make sure that it stayed on there and it was glued on well. And so I just make sure all of my edges are glued down as well, and that's all there is to it. A little potion jar with that cool leather on there. Now for the next potion jar or apothecary jar, I picked up some sweet pickles. I thought these looked a little bit creepy, right? And definitely something people will eat around my house after I'm done. And I thought they looked like slugs. So this label says cursed slugs, pickled in brine. I thought that was really funny. So there is our label for this one. And again, I just soak it in water. Definitely the water I found was the key to getting the labels off. I tried using that like adhesive remover from Dollar Tree, and it just wasn't quite strong enough to get those labels off. Again, it has a white lid, so I'm just going to go over and paint the whole thing black. I'm really glad that I made all the lids the same color. It really made it look consistent and creepy, and I love being able to use the jars that these are already in. Because of course they're all unique and they have like different textures on them like this one. I put some Mod on the back of our Cursed Slugs label. And I made these to size so it should fit on there perfectly, and I just glued that to the front. Super cute, and I think it does kind of look like curse slugs, right? And those little pickles in there. Really funny. And then I have found this at the Dollar Tree. It is like an eyeball globe. Really cute. If you can't find these, I just DIY'd some eyeballs in a recent video. You could use one of those as well. For the next item, I visited the pet aisle and I picked up some bones. So rawhide rolls, I thought those looked like great bones for an apothecary. And then I just needed a large jar. This is one that I had left over from the Shore Living line this year. I didn't really like the fact that it was blue, but you know what? I'm going to make it work. So I go ahead and put all of the rawhide rolls inside. Perfect size for this. And then I designed a label. And I'm going to have it be called Werewolf Bones. I thought that would be funny and creepy. So this is the label that I designed for this one. And I'm going to attach that to the jar. I was trying to decide if I wanted to try to change the color. I end up aging it. So that kind of made me happier with the jar. So I go ahead and first I'm Mod Podging the label on. I'm going to put it about halfway up. I'm glad that you can still see the bones. So that makes sense. And I love these bottles. I picked up a lot of these from the Shore Living line this summer because I knew that I would be able to use them. And then again, I'm aging the glass just with matte Mod Podge and a sponge all over. First, I just did the top part where it was clear. And then I was trying to decide if I wanted to do the blue part. And I thought, yeah, it would be more consistent if I did the blue part as well. So I went in and aged that one too. And this is how my werewolf bones turned out. Nice and tall, so that will look great on the shelf. Then I'm going to finish my coffee bar off with some of my Halloween mugs that I have left over from Target. I always collect those. So let me give you a little sneak peek of how the top shelf of my Apothecary coffee bar turned out. Super creepy. I'm really loving this. This is going to make me so happy this September and October, looking at this every day when I make my coffee in the morning. So let me give you a little top to bottom view of how the coffee bar turned out. And if you're wondering how I did the coffee bar, I do have a video. I videoed when I built this. I got a I think $12 cabinet from Goodwill and 2 floating shelves from Target. I had a skinny wall next to my kitchen and I made it work and I love it. I use my coffee bar all the time because I love coffee. So I think it turned out really cute. What do you guys think about my apothecary themed coffee bar? Let me give you a little look around so you can see all the fun details. I love all the different sizes of potions, all the funny labels and items that are in there. I tried to get really creative with designing these labels and coming up with names for them. So I really hope you enjoy the free printables that I will link in the description of today's video. I love it. It's so fun. Hey guys, if you visited my new website yet, it's craftybeach.net. I'm archiving all my DIYs over there from YouTube and that you can pin them on Pinterest so you can remember to make the DIYs. Okay, I told you more apothecary DIYs. This one is going to be my apothecary tier tray DIY. Enjoy. So for the top of my tier tray, I want to make a little tiny apothecary cabinet, and I'm going to use one of these little Dollar Tree signs for that. I'm just going to use it backwards like that. It'll have a little shelf to hold potion bottles, and I like the wood frame, so I'm just going to remove the little hanger that was on the back of this sign. And once I put those little potion bottles in there from Target Dollar Spot, you will be able to see the back a little bit. So I'm just going to go in and kind of do like a faux wallpaper kind of effect on this. So I start with ivory and just try to avoid the wood frame on there. Try to paint that out. Used a little bit too much paint, so let me thin this out a little bit. And then once I get that all painted, I'm going to go in and distress it to make it look old and weathered. And I do that with just some antique wax by Waverly, and I get that cool old design. Now onto our potions. These are $1 right now at Target Dollar Spot. This one is serpent scales. I tried to pick some of the darker ones because I want to do a lot of black on this tier tray for Halloween. And let me show you these. They're kind of cool. This has got little scales in there for the snake. And they're super cute and I really like them, but the labels are just too clean and the bottles are a little too clean too. So again, I'm using Antique Wax by Waverly. I'm not only distressing the labels with them, I distress the whole bottle so it looks like an old, like mottled bottle, and it gives you that more creepy Halloween feel. This one is Wool of Bats, and it's so cute. It is filled with little black bats all over. So I'm going to do the same thing on this. Normally I would like stain the labels with a tea bag or something, and we're going to do that a little later, but these labels are a little bit sealed to kind of protect them so they don't really take that too well. So I found that the Antique Wax by Waverly works way better. So potion number 2, ready to go. Cute little bats in there. And when you can find these little potions pre-made, it's going to be a big time saver for you. This one is Scaredy Cats, and it's full of little black cats. Super cute. I bought almost enough to fill this up, but not quite. We're going to do a total of 5 of these, and we're also going to DIY some of our own potion bottles too, if you can't find these, but all the Target dollar spots that I've been in lately all seem to have these. These are the Raven Wings, and this has got like black feathers in it. One of my favorite ones, super cute, and I'm just doing the same technique on all of them, removing the plastic wrapper from the top, distressing the label and the bottle with Antique Wax by Waverly to make it look old. And this one's my favorite. It's witches' brooms, and there's these little tiny witch brooms in there. But they have lots more too if you want to switch up different colors or if you want to do a bigger one. But this is going to be a little miniature apothecary cabinet on my tier tray for Halloween. And apothecary is such a fun theme for Halloween. You can really get creative with it. So I didn't put feet on it because I don't really want it to tip over on the top of my tier tray. So I'm going to leave that as is. But that's how many I did. I did 5 in the Dollar Tree sign, and we're going to use it to decorate the very top tier of my 2-tier tray. So you can kind of see that aging effect on them, how it gives it like a different feel. Definitely makes them look older and creepier. Now, this is also from the Target dollar spot, and it's a really cool potion bottle with a bat on top of it. It was $5, but it's really cool. It's really large, and it's got lights in it that change color. So let me see if I can show you that to you. I'm going to turn off some of my lights here, and you can see that it's just constantly changing colors. It says Finest Bat Cave Aged, and it's really nice and big. So we're going to put this back here behind it since it's nice and tall. And I'm like, oh, you can't really see it that well. So I'm going to kind of scoot this over a little bit so that you can see it a little bit better because it's so cute. Now for the other side, I thought we could take one of these. This is a bleeding skull candle that I found at Dollar Tree the other day. I saw these at a Dollar Tree Plus that I'd went to recently, but I hadn't seen these at regular Dollar Tree, so I was excited to find this. It's a black skull, and when you light it, like it's got like a red wax inside, so it looks like it's bleeding. So that's super cool. And it's got a little sparkle on it. And then I just picked up a black candlestick from Dollar Tree. Now to kind of break up the black there that we got going on, I thought we could use some creepy cloth. We're going to use this color, the ivory color, for our tier tray today, just to kind of break up because I have a lot of black going on, just to give it, you know, a crazy feel. So I just cut off a piece, and I'm just going to kind of string that over the little candle holder just to kind of break up the 2 different items, make them, you know, stand out a little bit more with the ivory color behind it. And you can just kind of arrange that however you want. I'm going to use this creepy cloth as filler today to decorate like some of the areas in my tier tray that don't have anything. And I think it looks nice and creepy for apothecary. So we got our little candle. The black skull, I think, totally goes with the apothecary theme. Now, all the large items are placed here on my top tier. It's really not going to hold much more large items, but we can switch it up and decorate some smaller items too. So these are the little mini glass containers. You get 6 of these in a package. They have several different sizes. I think they have a smaller one too. And for the first one, we're just going to use some of these foil flakes that I found at Dollar Tree. I thought we could just fill up these little potion bottles with different things. And I'm not going to label these. You could. They're awfully small, so I'm just going to fill them up with things. So it's a little bit easier said than done because the hole's kind of small on there. But just take your time. You can kind of push things down in there. I didn't have any funnels like small enough to do that. But I wanted to fill it up at least like 2/3 of the way full with the little gold flakes. And I think that looks cool. Like a little cute little potion. I'm going to pop the little cork back on it. I love these little glass bottles and stuff like this from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. For the next one, we're going to use some fennel seed. I went through my spice cabinet and tried to find some spices that would work. And these kind of look like seeds. Since I'm not like labeling these little teeny tiny ones, they don't really have to look like anything in particular, but you'd be surprised if you went online how many ideas people have for filling potion jars for an apothecary for Halloween. It's so fun. The next one, I'm going to use some oregano. And I just wanted like different looking things that might look like things that you might see in an apothecary. And again, just kind of trying not to make a giant mess here, but filling this one up as well. I thought there's 6 of them. I thought maybe we would do like 4 of them to help fill up that top tier. And for the last spice, we're going to do a red pepper. This one kind of turned out really cool. It kind of looks like a tiny potpourri or something like that in there. And again, just taking my time trying to get it through that little tiny hole there in the top, but super cute little potion bottles. And we're going to have lots of potion bottles today. Lots of ways that you can DIY them yourself like this or use them pre-made from Dollar Tree and Dollar Spot. So here they are, our 4 little mini potion bottles. And I thought we could decorate the top with those too. So we can fill in some of these smaller spots by just kind of scattering these around and arranging them nicely. I wanted to do my wood tier tray. I got this tier tray on Amazon because I thought it would go with a creepy apothecary feel, and it totally does. I love how they look together. Now for another tiny item, I thought I would use some of these little fairy garden decorations from Dollar Spot at Target. They're only $1 and you get 3 of these different skulls. And the thing I like about these are they're so tiny, so they're perfect for decorating a tier tray. The only thing I didn't like about them is that they were super white. So I'm just going to kind of warm them up a little bit by distressing them with some ivory, because we're going to have little ivory here and there on the tier tray today. And I want it to kind of coordinate. So I'm going to use like 2 of these as filler on my top tier and then the other one for filler on my bottom tier. Just super cute. I used a bunch of these for a Halloween tray, the little miniatures from Target Dollar Spot the other day, and they're just so cute. I love them. So I thought we would just kind of scatter those around. Just another little fun detail. I think the skull definitely goes with the apothecary theme. And just kind of decorating this up a little bit, rearranging if I need to. Now, again, I'm going to use some of that creepy cloth. I told you I was going to use this filler. This time I cut a tiny strip so I can get it to almost fall apart to just look like rags. I thought that would look creepy, and I like this look better than using like the cobwebs from Dollar Tree, because those things are like so hard to work with. It's so hard to get them stretched to make them look nice. And so I'm just pulling them apart into little rags and just filling up any of the areas that don't really have anything to finish off the top tier. At first, I was going to do a little pennant banner for the front of my tier tray right there, but I really love those potions and I thought it might take away from it. So we're going to move on to the bottom. I found this great sign at Dollar Tree. It's perfect. I don't have to do anything to it. It says pick your poison, and it's got potions all over it, and it's nice and tall. So I'm going to slide it back here. It's going to be a nice back decoration that's going to provide some decor for the bottom of the tier tray. And it's perfect, right? And Dollar Tree also has these little potion blank signs this year. And I thought we could do a really simple DIY using some of this Halloween leather. This one is like the black and white, and it totally gives me that like witchy apothecary feel. And so I thought that would be a really easy way to cover the potion bottle without having to make a custom sign or anything like that. So I just lay the little potion bottle on the back of the leather and trace that out on the back, and we can just cut that down to size and glue that to the potion bottle. Such an easy DIY, and it looks so cute. I am a huge fan of this Halloween leather. I really hope that they're planning on getting this stuff in for every holiday. How cute is that, right? Now, I know that the faux leather from Dollar Tree does not like hot glue. So I'm going to use tacky glue from Dollar Tree and do a nice thick coat on my little potion bottle and then just stick it on here. That is done. It's got enough detail on there. I don't really have to add any words or anything like that. And I think it looks super cute. How easy was that? And it says Hocus Pocus on there, so that's fun. And it's nice and tall. So we're going to kind of sit that over here on the side where you can kind of see that peeking out. Now, you guys have seen these. These are the little plastic cloches they always have at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to do a really fun, I wanted like to have a little monster inside of there for our apothecary. And this is actually like an old microphone, wind guard, little poofy little fur ball thing that I don't use for an old microphone that I had. And so I'm going to actually use that for a monster, but you can use whatever kind of fluff you could find. And then I'm just going to add some eyes to it to make it look mysterious. I had some of these little colored eyes from Target, but you could use whatever you've got. And I think it looks like a little furry monster. What do you guys think? So I don't want to completely damage this in case I need to use it again. So I'm just going to peel and stick the little stickers on here for two little eyes. And we have a little mystery for animals trapped in this little cloche. And I think that's going to be a nice little creepy surprise on my tier tray. My son's a huge Halloween fan and he's away at college. I went and visited him today and he's really bummed out that he's missing my Halloween DIYs. And I'm like, boy, you need to watch my YouTube channel. And then he's like, can you send me everything you make to decorate my dorm? Okay, for the next DIY, I picked up one of these candle holders from Dollar Tree, but instead of adding a candle to it, I thought we could do something fun. Make it like a little spider nest. So I found these little light up spiders at Dollar Tree. And it's got a little battery pack, but I can hide that inside the candle holders. So I just pop some batteries in there, and then we have these little light up spiders. Now, that little candle holder from Dollar Tree already has a big spider on the front, so that can be like the mama spider, right? And then we can fill it up with spider web to make it look like a spider nest. We actually, when I went to visit my son today, we went to Gumbo Limbo Nature Center down in Boca Raton where he's going to college. And we went on a boardwalk trail out to the Intercoastal. And oh my gosh, we saw so many spiders today. It creeped me out so bad. We probably saw like 30 giant spiders. One of them was so big that it had caught a mangrove crab and was eating it. It pulled its leg off and was eating it. But the crab was like bigger than the spider. It was crazy. So as you can see, I'm just taking that webbing and I just put it around the battery pack, but I left the switch on the top so I can turn it on and off. And I just wrapped it with the little battery operated spiders. And then I just want it to be kind of full, but it's going to be cool because it's going to light up like the potion too. So we're going to have a couple things light up on this tier tray, which is going to make it super creepy for Halloween. So there's my little faux spider nest in that little candle holder from Dollar Tree. I think it's really fun and works well together. And we're going to kind of sit that one over here. That little furry monster cracks me up. Now, these are the plastic potion bottles that they have at Dollar Tree that I found this year. This one is a black one. And I found this free printable online, and I'll be sure to include the link to this. I know I wasted a whole sheet of paper for this, but that was the only thing I needed to print. And I'm going to use a tea bag, and we are going to stain this. I printed it out on cardstock. And I'm going to stain more than just that because then I can go back and use that to make more labels if I need it. And then once I get it dry, I'm just going to cut this out. I like to work with cardstock, but you could totally do this with paper too. And just try to make it look semicircular. And we can decorate this little plastic potion bottle. It's kind of plastic and looks cheap, but once I've DIY'd it, it actually looked pretty good. So we're going to just Mod Podge this label on right here to the front. I like the frosted black plastic, and I don't really want the Mod Podge to be on that. So I kind of wipe that part off to clean it up. And then just leave the Mod Podge on the label itself, gluing that to our little potion bottle. And it says Ashes of Vampire. Now, funny story, I didn't have any ashes because our barbecue grill is gas. So I was trying to think of something I can use for ashes. And I had Italian seasoning that was kind of like going out of date. So might as well fill it up halfway with that. And it looks like ashes too. So here's our little Ashes of Vampire, a nice large little potion that we can put here in the front. Okay, next DIY, I thought this little jar from the Dollar Tree would be perfect for a potion. It's got like a little place for a label in front. So I'm just going to use some of that leftover cardstock that we dyed with a tea bag. And just piece by piece, I'm going to try to cut it down to fit in that little label with a rounded end. So I just keep trimming it until it looks good. And then I'm just going to use my Sharpie and handwrite kind of in a fancy font, squid ink. And we're going to do a really easy potion with this one. And it's okay if you want to handwrite your labels like this. It did look too perfect though. So I went back and distressed it with some Antique Wax by Waverly. And I want it to look old and, potiony. So I kind of spread that out with a baby wipe as well. And then I went around the borders with a lighter to give me that burned edge. Now be careful that you don't catch it on fire like I did here a couple of times, because I had to keep blowing it out. But it ended up looking really cool and weathered. So that's what I wanted. I'm going to Mod Podge that onto the front by Mod Podging it under and on top of the label. And this one is going to be so easy. We're just going to color water for squid ink. You could also say like octopus ink, whatever you want. But I thought this would be a really easy way to decorate this little jar. So I'm just going to fill it up with water. I did mine pretty full. You might want to not do it as full as I did it. And then some black paint. And then just stir that up. Easy peasy. Now this does have a seal on it, so hopefully this won't spill. But there is my squid ink. Looks really cool. I love it. I was going to paint the lid, but I kind of like it like the silver. And we're going to set that right here next to our Ashes of Vampire. And then I found this little candle that says Deadly Nightshade at the Target dollar spot for $3. And it's perfect because it looks like potion. And it's a ready-made candle. It's black and ivory. The colors are perfect. And it's nice and short, so we can sit it right here in front on the bottom of the tier tray. Now, I picked this up at Dollar Tree today. It's one of the little bee bird cages that are so cute. I have DIY'd this for a bee tier tray before, one of these. But I thought we could do a Halloween version with one of those little skeletons from the Dollar Tree. My plan is to try to replace the bees with bats. Now, the first one was really kind of trickier to get off than the other ones, but I was able to get them all off. I do recommend using a pair of pliers, though, so you don't cut yourself on any metal. And I thought we could use the bats to kind of fill in the spaces that are kind of damaged from removing the bees. If you don't want to remove the bees and you have one of these, you can always paint the bees black and make them look creepy too, I guess. I've seen people decorating with black butterflies for Halloween, and I think that's a really fun idea. So I'm going to use these little black felt bats from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just peeling them off the orange background, and they still have sticky on the back. So I'm just going to take advantage of that and just scatter those around. These are ones I had left over from last year, and these are the ones this year. I noticed they are a little bit different, like they don't have the lines on them, but that's okay. We can have a variety of bats all over my little bird cage, and this actually worked out really well. Now, when I did take the bees off, though, it did damage it like in 2 places, not just one. So I did have to go back with a little bit of black paint and just touch that up a little bit. But I thought it'd be a really cute little cage for a little tiny skeleton to be in. And I have the one covering his face, so he looks like he's super scared. So we're just going to pop him in the bird cage. Perfect size for a tier tray and nice and creepy for Halloween. And we're going to put him right here in front. What are you guys thinking about this tier tray? I think it was so much fun to put together. It was actually pretty easy. I DIY'd everything on here in only an hour. So easy peasy. Now here's the other little skull that we had left over from up top. And I do have a little place here in front of the potion that kind of needed something. And then again, I shredded some more of that little ivory creepy claw. And we are just going to scatter that all around the bottom tier for filler. And I absolutely love this apothecary tier tray. It's so fun. And don't forget, stick around. We're not done yet. I'm going to do apothecary on a big scale too. So this is a little preview of the final reveal. So you can kind of see how the tier tray version turned out before we get moving on the larger one. I love it. I think it's so cute. I haven't decided. I think I'm going to put this in my kitchen. And I think I'm going to do another Halloween tier tray too. I don't know. It's so cute. I could really put this one about anywhere. I love the rectangular tier tray. Again, I got that on Amazon. It is linked in my shop below. If you're interested in a new tier tray, I really love the rectangular ones. I have this one in wood and in white. But how fun is this? I love it. I love the little areas that light up as well. All the little creepy details with a little touch of apothecary going on in all of them. Our little crazy furry monster doesn't really make any sense, but that's kind of what's so fun about him. And I just love how that tier tray turned out. Hey guys, I would love to see your DIYs. Be sure to join the private Facebook group, linked in the description. Share what you've been making and see what everyone else has been making. Everybody is so creative in our Facebook group. Okay, more apothecary DIYs. I did an entire cabinet for apothecary using items from the Dollar Tree and the Dollar Spot at Target. Hope you enjoy this one as well. Okay, let's go to the big scale apothecary. I picked up this giant wood sign at Goodwill and we're going to just remake it. I wanted to do a great big sign for the top of my apothecary. So we're going to start with some ink. Chalk paint by Waverly and cover up, job done. This is kind of an odd sign. I wonder what this sign was for. I don't really get it. But this black or ink chalk paint is super thick, so it's going to be able to help me cover up all of that red and white and stuff going on underneath of it. And we're going to do a hand-painted sign. I wanted to use my Cricut to make a stencil, and I'll be sure to include the fonts that I used below. I don't believe I saved them, but I do have a record of all the fonts that I used. And then we're going to kind of give it a Hocus Pocus theme on this sign. And so I went online and found a silhouette of the 3 witches from Hocus Pocus and kind of used that. But again, it's probably I don't know. I don't know if you can buy that. I kind of made my own, so I'll show you what I mean. So this is, I'm going to do it in 3 parts because it's such a large sign. I'm going to have it say potions, tonic, and elixirs. And that was the hair for the 3 witches. This is the apothecary sign. And then I'm going to have it say Sanderson Sisters. It's going to be the name of the apothecary to give it that, a vibe, even with the right year of established 1693. And then we're just going to piece all of the stencil vinyl together to do a giant hand-painted sign for the top of my apothecary. Now, I get the stencil vinyl on Amazon. I have that linked in my shop below, as well as this wonderful paper transfer paper. Absolutely love it. You can even reuse it if you need to. And it does great. Even if you've just painted a sign like this, doesn't damage any paint, gets all of our stencil down. And then I'm just going to fill in any holes with some painter's tape. And I can just paint the giant sign all at once. And I'm going to be decorating my entire bookcase or cabinet as an apothecary. So I'm going to sit this on the very top. So for all the letters, everything on there, I'm just going over it with some ivory chalk paint by Waverly. And you can tell the white on the black didn't have great coverage. And so after I dried it, I'm going to go over it with another coat to make sure that ivory on black is really going to pop. Did not mean to do that, but crisis averted. And if I have any craziness going on here at the end, I can always go back and touch it up with some black paint. So painted, dried, time to remove the stencils and seal what we're dealing with. And again, I did have to really kind of piece it together in 3 pieces just because this sign was so big. And I think it turned out so cute. Now, getting all the stencils off, you kind of want to maybe do it piece by piece so you don't cause any damage. And then whenever you do a hand-painted sign with Cricut stencils, then you just have to go back in and, of course, weed out all the little pieces of stencil that's still left on there. And as you can see, I did have a little bleeding, especially where my letter came up there, but that's okay. Again, we can always just touch it up. And I always like stuff looking distressed anyway. But this is how I designed it. So Sanderson Sisters, Apothecary, established 1693, potions, tonics, elixirs, and then the little silhouette of our 3 favorite witches from Hocus Pocus. You'll have to let me know in the comments below what your favorite Halloween movie is. I think for sure mine is Hocus Pocus. I absolutely love this movie. So I wanted to give a few touches, just a few of touches of Hocus Pocus in the large scale apothecary cabinet. And I'm going to just go ahead and put this up here right on top. And I have this cabinet in my dining room area, so really fun to decorate seasonally. Next up, we're going to make a banner out of one of these little pick your poison signs from Dollar Tree. I just took all the little potion bottles off of it, and I'm going to string some twine on them so that I can make my own little custom creepy banner for an apothecary Halloween. I thought we could also use some of the little skulls from the Dollar Tree in there as well. That way we can have 5 things hanging from it. And we're just going to attach all of that to some twine. So I used a needle on the end of the twine, a large needle, so that I could go right through the skull. Kind of creepy, right? And string it just like that, because otherwise I didn't really know how else to attach it. And I'm glad I did that. I did find cutting holes in it with scissors did work a little bit better. And then string those on, kind of tying knots on the ends to kind of keep them in place. And then we can go back and attach all the potion bottles to that as well. So I did another knot just to keep this skull in place, strung it on, knotted that one as well. And then we can do the 3 potion bottles, and I'm just going to tie those on so they will hang flat. And I originally made this for the top of my apothecary cabinet, but then I had so much stuff going on up there, I ended up moving it to the bottom of my apothecary cabinet, and you'll see that here in a minute. Now, I love this creepy cloth. This is the black version. I have little hooks on the top of my cabinet because I use a lot of banners and stuff like that to decorate this seasonally, some little command hooks. And we are just going to take that creepy cloth and kind of do it uneven like that so it looks nice and creepy, hanging down, but kind of off center. And then I went back and hung that little pennant banner that we just made. And again, you'll see in a little bit, I do end up moving that down just because I already had a lot of decoration going on here at the top of my cabinet. Now, I wanted to decorate little paper bats. I got these at Dollar Spot for $1, but I'm pretty sure I saw these at Dollar Tree today. And I want to do little silhouettes of black bats. In the background, my cabinet's ivory. So I think that's going to give it a nice little Halloween touch for all of my potions and apothecary. Now, these actually came with double-sided tape. to help stick them up. So it came with them, so I might as well use them. So I'm just going to stick these to the back of my cabinet. And this is like a 3-shelf cabinet. It's got like a drawer and cabinet below it. So it's not super big, but big enough. Next up, I found this great little shelf for $5 at the Target dollar spot, and it was white, and I wanted it to be black to go with my apothecary feel, so that's okay. I'll just give it a coat of black paint, but you can use whatever you have. I thought this would be really good just because it's got all the little shelves, and painting it is easier than probably building it, but it's got lots of room for me to house potions for our potion cabinet. So a lot of painting, I just have to go pretty much all the areas you're going to be able to see. So I have to go in and out. If you wanted to piece this together, you could probably do it with some Dollar Tree frames and just kind of do like a pattern similar to that. Probably get about the same effect. But if you can find it for $5, I'd buy it. Now, this Hocus Pocus sign is something that I already had. I got this at Publix, our grocery store here in Florida. Sometimes they have really cute Halloween stuff, and it really caught my eye. And so I actually bought this pre-made, and I'm just going to use a little bracket so that I can attach it to the top of my little cabinet that I just made, just to give it a little fun Halloween feel. I'm going to paint that bracket black so it doesn't really stand out, but this did a great job of keeping this in place, just so otherwise it was probably going to fall off and break all of my potion bottles. But I painted everything except for the back on that. I guess I probably could have painted the back on that too. But good enough. So there's our little Hocus Pocus cabinet. And we're going to place that right up here. You'll see today I'm going to be rearranging this a lot, taking you through the whole process today. So it might not stay there is what I'm saying. I also got some of these little black risers from the Target dollar spot, and I thought we could use those for some things. Now, these are the little like graduated cylinders, like little mad scientist kind of jars that I got at the Target dollar spot as well. You could pretty much use anything, but I love the fact that these are Halloween colors, orange, black, purple, and they look very mad scientist. So I thought those would be cute. I also got these little potion bottles at Target dollar spot, and the last cylinders and these 4 that I'm going to show you right here. I did not get these this year at Target dollar spot. Every year they seem to kind of change them up a little bit, but I liked the colors. I didn't really like that the labels were too clean. So again, I distressed them with some Antique Wax by Waverly to make them look aged. But I like the fact that they're colored because then you don't really have to find things to fill them with. They're already really colorful and fun. Now, these are the Dollar Tree version. So you can see they're clear. They've got like the black and white. Again, I want to age them, and I just do that by distressing them all with some Antique Wax by Waverly. And just kind of wiping off the excess. But if you want to distress the whole bottle like we did earlier on the tier tray, you totally can. And those are clear, so I'll have to get a little bit more creative when I go to kind of fill these up with potions for the tier tray. Super cute. I also got like a little eye of newt for $1 from the Target dollar spot that we're going to use on this tier tray. It's got little eyeballs in there, which is super fun. And I distressed that with some Antique Wax by Waverly as well. So you can see kind of some of the things from Dollar Spot, some of the things from Dollar Tree, what they have. And then I'm just going to start kind of arranging these on here, see what will fit where. That one will fit, but only if I take the cork off. And lots of different shapes and sizes, which is great with that little cabinet. Now the clear ones I want to add some color to. So what I did is I filled them up with water, and then I just used a little food coloring. That's another way that you can color your potions, if your bottles are not already colored, to make them look super fun for an apothecary. I'm going to add a little bit more color to that one. It was a little blue. I like that better. Creepier spider venom and toxic brain juice. And then the colored one from the Target dollar spot. unfiltered poison. I like it better with something in there, so I just filled mine up with water. Okay, so if you can't find any of those potion bottles, you can totally make your own. These are the little bottles they have every year that say like sand for my favorite beach or whatever like that. And I picked these up from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to show you how you can just use these to make your own little potion bottles. So I'm just taking all the packaging off. I thought I'd be slick and remove the paint with some fingernail polish remover, which works sometimes from Dollar Tree, but not this time. But that's okay. We will persevere. I'm going to have some free printables, and I will post all the links to these in the description below this video, where some nice people have shared their free printables. And then since these are paper, I just printed them out on regular paper. We can attach those to the bottle, but I was afraid you'd be able to see the words through it. So I went over the words first with a little ivory chalk paint to kind of mask that. And so that'll be kind of hidden behind the little potions. So I like them. I think they're super cute. Instead of burning the edges of these, I just went around them with a black Sharpie. That way, when I cut them out, they'll still kind of have like a black distressed edge, but I don't have to worry about burning this. This is regular paper. It might burn a little bit harder. I was able to find all of the printables that I used on this. And again, I will put these all in the description below so you can DIY your own little potion bottles from scratch like this. And again, I'm just going to use Mod Podge. I'm just going to glue that right on top of the area that we painted. Perfect mask. And you never know that that was not a potion bottle before. And these have little cork tops too, so they're perfect for potion bottles. Gonna do my second bottle here, a little snake venom. And I like the fact that they designed these to already look kind of old and weathered. I don't have to stain them or anything. So I'm just going to seal those down with some more Mod Podge to seal up those little potion bottles. So I wanted to show you, you know, Target Dollar Spot, Dollar Tree potion bottles. And if you wanted to make your own, again, I filled mine with water, and then I'm just going to color them with some food coloring from the Dollar Tree. Pop the corks back on, and we have some more potions to decorate this giant apothecary. Super cute. I think I like the printable labels better than the store-bought ones. And then again, we're going to do some minis. I'm going to mix it up this time. I'm going to use some of the little ones with the corks and some of these ones with like the little screw-on lids, both from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. And we're going to do some little mini ones. So I have these little printables on a tiny scale. I printed them out super tiny so I could put them on these super tiny little potions. And just cutting those out, and then I can just Mod Podge those onto the labels. So on the tier tray earlier, I didn't bother labeling these little ones, but on this one I did, so you can kind of see how they look labeled. So if you're going to do like the little tiny apothecary jars too, you can, or potion jars, you can totally label yours. They do look super cute. Now I wanted something sparkly, and I found these like little confetti tubes from Crafter Square. Now don't do what I did because I spilt them everywhere, but they're super tiny, and so they did a great job of filling these little jars, and it's going to make it nice and colorful because I'm kind of going for a more colorful approach on this apothecary with all my different potions and all those different colored bottles and stuff like that. And this one comes in like pink, blue, green. So a great tiny thing from the Dollar Tree that you can use to fill these little tiny bottles up. And again, put something down first if you're going to work with these. I guess you could use glitter too. It would give you that sparkly effect, but that is how mine turned out. They're super cute. I love these. So we're going to just kind of start piling these around in my little mini apothecary cabinet here, kind of wherever they'll fit. Now, this is a really creepy little carnivore plant that I got at Target. My son loves those things, and I thought that'd be a fun little touch to add to it. Next up, we're going to do the little Hocus Pocus potion book. So I picked up a book from the Dollar Tree and we're going to DIY it. So the first thing I wanted to do was to make it look fancy with like gold gilded pages. And so I'm going to use some gold acrylic paint that I cut at the Target dollar spot. And we are just going to paint all the edges of the pages gold to kind of give it a fun feel. And we're going to use a little plate rack from the Dollar Tree to open up our potion book so it is ready to be used. And I was able to find a design online that somebody had done to recreate the Hocus Pocus potion book. And I'm going to print that down to size. Now, the link is kind of a weird link. I had to be creative to get it to print, but I will include a link to it. I think my computer blocked it, but I was still able to print it out from the Pinterest link. Now, one thing about painting my pages gold is that they were kind of stuck together, but I got it open and looking good, about halfway open. The first thing I'm going to do is just use some ivory paint to go over all of the words that were on those pages. That way that won't come through because I just printed out the life potion and the other page just on regular paper. So it's going to be thin when I go to attach that to our little potion book. So I cut these down just to size. They have little fun burnt edges already in the design. And I might do some more digging to see if I can find a better link for these, but if I can't, I'll just use the same one that I used, and it turned out pretty cute. So kind of a little trickier to cut out because you have to cut around like the burning effect on those, but I like that because it gives it a really fun feel. And this is like the little potion book from the movie Hocus Pocus. So perfect and perfect size. So we're just going to Mod Podge that down to the sheet of the book. And every time I DIY a Dollar Tree book, I always get somebody that likes the author in the comments below chastising me for destroying a book. And I'm like, okay, it was at the Dollar Tree. I don't really feel that bad about it. I'm sorry. And so I'm going to Mod Podge this page down as well. And I want it to lay open. So I'm kind of like trying to, bend it, make it stay open, but it will have the little plate tray that's going to keep it open. So not super important. And you don't have to do the back or the cover of it at all because you're not going to be able to see it. So we're going to display that right here. Little cat transformation too. And our little potion book. And you'll see I'll rearrange lots of stuff on this cabinet as we go. Now, next up, I bought 6 of these little boxes with the drawers from Dollar Tree, and we're going to make our DIY apothecary cabinet. This was so cute. I love it. I use this every year. It's so cool how it turned out. So I used wood glue. You could always use hot glue too. And I'm gluing 2 together at a time. And as you can tell, Dollar Tree squares are not always even, so make sure they are before you glue them. And then I used a little Dollar Tree clamps as well to help that glue dry. And then we're going to go back and glue all of these pieces together. My wood glue totally clogged up on me, but we're going to persevere. So we glued the 2, 2, 2. So we're going to do a total of 6. We're going to do the drawers too, make it a full apothecary cabinet. And now we have all 6 of them glued together and clamped. It's going to be nice and strong because we used wood glue. And then I'm going to use these giant popsicle sticks to make little braces for the back to make sure that this thing stays together and it is super sturdy. So I'm going to do a total of 3 of the popsicle sticks. And I use a combination of wood glue and hot glue to help keep that all together. I wanted a nice, strong apothecary cabinet where you could take the drawers in and out. Nothing's going to be falling apart. So you'll need a total of 6 of these if you want to do this size. Now, it doesn't matter what the cutout is. You're going to put that part on the back so nobody's going to see it. Now comes the fun part, staining everything with some Antique Wax by Waverly. I'm just going to go over any of the areas that you might see. So if the drawer was pulled out slightly, you're going to be able to see the sides. So I went ahead and did those as well. You can always do every surface if you wanted to. And as you can see, I am just making a mess, but wiping off the excess Antique Wax by Waverly with a paper towel and just getting that medium wood stain on all of these. I guess you could always paint it too, but I really like the look of the stained wood. I think it really added a lot of character to this apothecary cabinet. So we've got it all put together. We might as well start staining the apothecary cabinet as well. And we're just going over all of the edges and the back as well, just to make it look more finished. And I'm glad that I braced it. I think it made it super strong. Again, just because all those boxes aren't entirely square. But I think that it's had enough time to set up. I'm also going to stain just the very front there where you can see it. But I'm not going to worry about the inside of the box. You won't be able to see in there. And then it's just a matter of popping all our drawers in there. Again, do the shape to the back so that you won't see that even if it is slightly open. And then I'll include a link to these printables that I used to decorate the little drawers. They're super cute. I cut down a bunch of them. I'm going to pick out some of my favorites. And we're actually going to put some things in these apothecary drawers too to make them look like the things on the label. So that's what they look like if you just cut them out into a rectangular shape. But I thought it would look even cooler if you cut out like the intricate shape. It makes it look way fancier. So I went back and cut all of mine down to this great little outline that's on this free printable. I'm using free printables from a lot of different websites. Otherwise, I'd shout them out. But I will definitely include a link to all of them below. You can thank them for these wonderful free printables. They turned out so cute. And then it's just a matter of Mod Podging these all down. We've got a little bit of everything. I wanted some variety. Got some deadly nightshades, some poison hemlock. Super fun little ideas for an apothecary cabinet. And you could do this as small or as large as you wanted. Turned out so cute, and I had so much fun putting this little apothecary cabinet together. Definitely worth it. And then I just took some pieces from some old plants from the Dollar Tree and Dollar Spot or wherever. And I'm just going to kind of have them hanging out of the drawers or have the drawers partially open with those kind of peeking out to kind of make it look like the actual items are in the little cabinet. Look how cute that is. I think it's so cute. You could do it even bigger. Do like a 9-count one. That would be really fun. And now let's start decorating the cabinet a little bit. I have a skull from the Dollar Tree, and I have a little black rat here from the Target Dollar Spot. I cut that. That could be scurrying. A little potions, little box book from Dollar Tree as well. I thought we could put that on top of the apothecary cabinet to give it a little bit more height. Loving the potion book. And I'm going to use some more of the creepy cloth. So again, the creepy cloth in black. I thought we could use that to decorate the shelf, make it look even creepier. So we're just going to open this one up and kind of rearrange things here so that can actually be underneath the items. And I think that was another fun touch. So this is the second shelf that we're decorating here. And putting everything back once I got like the little black creepy cloth in place. Hope you guys can see okay. I was trying not to block the camera when I was filming this. And then for the bottom, I found this great little witch cauldron from the Target Dollar Spot for $5. Again, I did not get that this year. And at first I thought I would just fill it with potion bottles, but you'll see I'll do a lot of rearranging. But 3 of those fit nicely in there. I also found this little Lazy Susan black tier tray kind of thing for $5 at Dollar Spot as well. And I thought that'd be a great place to have like little odds and end things in jars. So that's what we're going to do next. Dollar Tree bones in a Dollar Tree fancy jar. I thought that would be cool for a little item to put on our little apothecary, like little lazy Susan. Another Dollar Tree jar, and we're going to fill this one with eyeballs. No water or anything like that, just the plastic eyeballs, just for fun. I'm going to fill it all the way up, screw the lid back on. I really like the crisscross pattern of that one. That looks super fancy. And then this is a little plastic jar from Dollar Tree, and we're going to fill it up with some little palm bone, little plastic skeleton hands from the Dollar Tree. I wanted a variety of weird things that you might find in a Halloween apothecary for potions. So we're going to set that one right down here. They all have silver lids. This is the same one, same kind of jar that we used earlier for the squid ink. I love this one, and I'm going to fill it up with just some little bats that I got at Dollar Spot. Pop the lid back on, little plastic bat toys. And then we're kind of rearrange and try to get everything the way that I like it. Up next, I wanted some fingers, and these are little witch finger suckers from Dollar Tree in the candy aisle for Halloween, and I thought they'd make great fingers. So I don't really need them to have like the sucker stick on them though. I just need the little finger. So I'm going to try to cut that part off, but be careful because as you can see, I kind of cut one of my fingers and broke it. But I still have three little creepy like green fingers that I can like use for decoration here. Be super fun. If you could get something more realistic from Dollar Tree, it'd be even better. And then another Dollar Tree jar. This time I'm filling it up with the little plastic skulls from Dollar Tree and Spanish moss to make it look creepy. A little bit of Spanish moss, a few skulls, just kind of mixing that up for another little fun little decor for the apothecary cabinet. So I don't think that one's really going to fit, but I thought maybe we could rearrange things. So this is me adding a little Spanish moss to my hands because I think it makes it look creepier like it did with the skulls. And I'm going to do it with the bones too because, again, I think it looks creepier that way. So just kind of adding to and rearranging some of the ones that we just did because I like that idea better. And putting those back on the apothecary. We can also scatter out some of those extra bones and hands, kind of peeking out on the apothecary cabinet. And then I'm also going to use Spanish moss to make this little tray look super creepy. And just kind of scatter those about. I love using Spanish moss for Halloween decor. It always looks super creepy. Using one of those little black risers from the Dollar Spot, we can kind of prop that up a little bit. We can also add some like Dollar Tree spiders in the Spanish moss to give it a fun feel. That's when I started rearranging things to kind of see what I liked better. I'm going to move the graduated cylinders and stuff like that down here to see if I like those better here. They were on the very top of my cabinet. And just kind of rearrange things. This is another one of those little skeletons from the Dollar Tree, and I just popped it in one of the cloches as well. I had previously painted this cloche ivory for another DIY, and then a little skeleton bird I thought would be creepy. That's from Dollar Tree. I just painted that ivory. And it's kind of funny that I'm painting the cloche back black because, of course, that's how they come originally. And again, we used one of those for the little monster on the apothecary tier tray. But I'm just going to go ahead and paint this little guy black because I think it looks creepier that way. The Spanish moss and the Dollar Tree skeleton right on top. So if you can't find the bird cage, you could always use the little cloche like this from the Dollar Tree and get like the little same trapped skeleton feel. This is the one with his knees up, so he fits a little bit better in there. Maybe a skull over here. And we can kind of see how to make it creepy. I put a black furry tarantula back there in the back, also from Dollar Tree. And I'm just trying to make sure I like how everything is. A little skeleton rat from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to kind of pop that back there, kind of peeking out from behind. I think that looks creepy. That's when I decided to move my potion banner from the top to the bottom, just because I think it needed something down there. And here is another one of those little skeletons. This one's hiding his face. And I had moved the stuff down here down. So now I'm going to kind of rearrange this part. Put that little black witch's cauldron cabinet over here. Bring more our potions up on the very top shelf to see if I like that better. I also got a little bat candlestick holder that I can use for a riser. I also got that at the Target dollar spot. Just to kind of make them different heights and stuff like that. And then to make it look creepy, we're just going to take Spanish moss and kind of scatter it all over this shelf. And another little skeleton. This one's holding his mouth, which is perfect for potions, right? Like, you don't want to swallow it or you can't believe you swallowed it. And just kind of arrange it and make it look super creepy. I'm also going to scatter the Spanish moss all over the bottom shelf as well. Don't really need to do that much on the middle shelf because we use the creepy cloth to make it look creepy there. And I wanted all kinds of like curiosities and oddities on this cabinet, and I love how it turned out. Since we're so close to the final reveal, I'll just show it to you with everything else here. Thank you for watching today's video. Be sure to comment which one of the apothecaries was your favorite, or your favorite idea that we did today, or just come say hello. I love reading all of your comments. Enjoy the final reveal for all the apothecary DIYs. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's video. I appreciate you so much. I also want to thank all my Crafty Beach Fun members. Thank you to Karen O'Haron, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Nancy Wunner, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Maria Grace, Donna Schreiner, Live Another Day, Tracy Wooldridge, Maren Christensen, Debbie Middleton, Adrian Brolt, Deborah Caldwell, Red Mama, Tammy Muir, and Donna Tanner. I appreciate you guys so much. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach Fun member, all you have to do is hit the join button next to today's video. You're going to get early ad-free access to my videos here on YouTube. It's $4.99 a month, and you're free to cancel at any time. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like even more Dollar Tree Halloween DIYs, be sure to check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting and happy Halloween.